I'm sure that everyone has fantasized about waking up or falling asleep to waves crashing and beautiful sunrises as well as sunsets along the Pacific coast. But is it too much to want to live in an area like Capitola? Due to the high cost, the limited inventory, the limited job opportunities, etc., or do the actual amazing attributes counter the expensive nature of living in such a beautiful coastal town? Let's dive in. If you are interested or curious about living in Capitola, California, we are going to go over today the pros and cons of living in that beautiful quintessential beach town right on the Pacific Ocean. So obviously there's a formula to this, and we are always going to start off with the cost of living. So the con with regards to living in Capitola is that there's a high cost of living in Capitola. Every time we talk about a little area in Santa Cruz County, we always start off with the con, and Santa Cruz in general is an expensive place to live. So take note that Capitola has a high cost of living. However, the pro is that Capitola has a median income of approximately $81,000 a year, which is 28% higher than the median income in other California areas. Now, $81,000 a year might actually be sufficient to purchase something like a 2-bedroom condo in Capitola, which you can get in the $600,000 to $700,000 price range. But if you are looking in a place like Depot Hill, which is an exclusive little enclave of beautiful beach homes, you are going to probably strike out because those properties, just for a fixer-upper, generally speaking, on Depot Hill in Capitola, started around $1.5 million. So the con is the high cost of living. The pro is obviously that the median income in Capitola is 28% higher than other places in California. Let's dive into education while living in Capitola. Education is always going to be one of those things that will either be very important to you or not important at all, depending if you're raising children in the area or if you yourself are still attending school. Capitola itself does not have continuing education, meaning after high school, that's all there is, unless you travel to Aptos and go to Cabrillo College, which is an exceptional junior college, or you could go to Santa Cruz, where the University of California, Santa Cruz is. Otherwise, Capitola specifically has elementary, middle, and high school options. One interesting fact is that Capitola boasts a 92% graduation rate. So that's a pretty high graduation rate, meaning that 92% of students will graduate from high school. Another pro of living in Capitola is that it offers both public and private school options. So if you don't want to send your children to public school, you can look into the private school options. For public school options, we have SoCal Elementary School, which if you go to greatschools.org, you will be able to see the ratings of these schools. I'm not telling you, because I'm just a realtor, which school is better than the next. I'm just telling you the ratings on greatschools.org. But for public schools for elementary, we have SoCal Elementary, and the rating on greatschools.org gets a 5 out of 10. Main Street Elementary, the rating on greatschools.org gets a 7 out of 10. Santa Cruz Gardens is an elementary, and the rating for Santa Cruz Gardens is a 6 out of 10. And then there's Opal Cliff School, which does not yet have a rating on greatschools.org, and they serve populations K through 8th grade. So you could go to Opal Cliff School from kindergarten to 8th grade, and then you just have to find a high school. For public middle schools, the only option is New Brighton Middle School. And on greatschools.org, New Brighton Middle School gets a rating of 5 out of 10. If you do not want to send your kids to public school, there are a few options with regards to private school education. Private schools do not get rated on greatschools.org. So if you want more information on any of these schools, I would suggest doing a Google search, really figuring out which schools seem like they would fit your child's needs, and then visiting the school and talking to the administration. But for private school options, we have Santa Cruz Montessori, and the broader Santa Cruz area, this school offers Montessori-based education focusing on individualized learning and development. And then there is a Christian school, BHM Christian School, which is situated in Santa Cruz. VHM provides a Christ-centered education for students in grades K through 8. So this school offers classes all the way through 8th grade. So then you would just be looking for a school for your high school years. VHM Christian School is obviously a Christian school, so it's got a spiritual or religious affiliation with it. So if you wanted to go in that private school that also caters to maybe your religious affiliation, that would be an option. And then there is Terra Redwood School. Terra Redwood School is located in nearby Soquel, and this school offers programs from preschool through 6th grade. So after Terra, you would have to send your child to both middle school and high school. So you'd have to find a new middle school and a new high school. It emphasizes a holistic education with a focus on mindfulness and nature immersion, utilizing its serene Redwood Forest campus. So I know a few people who have gone there. They really like it. There's a lot of outdoor exploration, which I personally think is great. But again, your kid might do better with more traditional in-class education. So every school is different. I'm not suggesting you go to any specific school. I'm just suggesting that you check them out. But in general, there are several options with regards to education if you were to choose to live in Capitola. The con is that the school test scores, these, I believe, are for public schools only, average 57%. This is 18% higher than the national average, but it still leaves a lot of room for improvement. Some more cons about education in the Capitola area are that even though there are options to choose from, the options are somewhat limited. There's 3 elementary schools that I mentioned, and these are for public. There's 1 middle school, and there's actually no high schools within the boundaries of Capitola. So if you are living in or considering moving into the Capitola area, a con would be that there are limited education options. And for high school, you're going to have to choose which high school, if you want to go public, which high school your child should attend. So there are obviously options in the county of Santa Cruz, but specifically in the boundary of Capitola, there is no high school affiliated. Another con is that some of these schools tend to be bigger, so the student to teacher ratio is larger, which means that your student might not get the individualized attention that they need or require. And then there's limited extracurricular activities. So when you have bigger classes and you're in a public school, a lot of times it just becomes more challenging to do extracurricular activities within the school system or the school framework. But again, every student and every child's requirement for education is different. So my suggestion is don't take my word for it. Really do a deep dive to see what educational schooling opportunities are available to you and what is going to be the best fit for you and your child and your family. Okay, let's talk about job opportunities in Capitola. The pros and cons of job opportunities in Capitola. The pro of job opportunity in Capitola is actually that the unemployment rate is 1%, which is significantly below the national average, indicating a robust job market. There are diverse employment opportunities, including healthcare, retail, hospitality, and more. There are many large employers in Capitola, including car dealerships such as Subaru, Toyota, and Kia. Like we talked about in education, there are schools. So if you are a teacher or you are an administrator who is looking for employment in a school or school district, then you can look for a job within Capitola. And then, of course, there's the beloved mall. So if you want a more corporate job, we have Target, obviously. There's Trader Joe's for shopping, for grocery shopping, Whole Foods for grocery shopping. You can get a job there. And then there's exceptional restaurants like the Shadowbrook, one of my favorite. And then there's also hospitality like the Depot Hill Inn, one of the cutest little B&Bs in Capitola, in my opinion. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's over on Depot Hill, and I think you'll just really be blown away with how adorable it is. And then, of course, a pro, and I mentioned this before, pro is that if you don't find a job within the city of Capitola, then you can indeed, the proximity of a larger job market like Silicon Valley, like Santa Cruz, like Monterey is available because Capitola is so centrally located in Santa Cruz County. The cons of employment opportunities in Capitola are that because the cost of living is so high, though there may be significant job opportunity, those jobs might not support the cost of living in Capitola. So you need obviously a job that can support where you live. In the city of Capitola, there's fewer high-paying job sectors. So if you want a higher-paying job so that you could support yourself while living in an expensive place, you most likely will have to commute outside of Capitola. And then lastly, one of the cons of job opportunity in Capitola is there's a limited career advancement opportunity. So if you take a job, say at the Shadowbrook, you might start as a hostess and you might end as a server, but chances are you're not going to start as a hostess and end up as a billionaire unless you leave the Shadowbrook or unless you buy the property or unless you're an entrepreneur / hustler on the side. Those are the cons of job opportunities in the city of Capitola. Let's talk about the pros and cons of crime. Okay, the pro, and this is similar really across the county of Santa Cruz, but the pro of crime in Capitola, it's funny to say that there's a positive aspect of crime, but here we go. The pro is that actual violent crimes are significantly lower than the national average. Violent crime rates are relatively lower than the national average, coming in at 267 violent crimes per 100,000 people. And this is a favorable statistics when compared to other areas of the nation. Another pro about crime in Capitola is that they have a very active policing community. There is a police station in the Capitola Village, and the police are very active in maintaining a serene, peaceful environment. You'll often see police down by the beach, making sure that everybody is safe and happy. It really keeps crime down. The cons with regards to crime in Capitola are though violent crime is lower than the national average, property crime is actually high, coming in at 3,139 incidents per 100,000 people, which is 20% higher than the average in California. So residents face a 1 in 46 chance of becoming victim to a property crime. What is a property crime? Burglary, car theft, or break-in. It is any sort of crime that affects your physical property, but not your physical being, right? So you're not getting attacked, you're not getting murdered, thankfully, but you might become victim of your bike being stolen. Okay, let's move on to the pros and cons of traffic in Capitola. This is my favorite subject. I don't know why. If you don't have a flying car, just kidding. Okay. Pro is that it is a really beautiful area. So it's walkable, it's bikeable, everything is really accessible, so you can avoid traffic if you don't want to get in your car. Also, everything is really pretty scenic. For the most part, if you're driving along the coast or you are driving through the Capitola Village, you can meander and view the shops. So the pros about traffic are you can avoid traffic by walking or biking or alternative modes of traffic. And that if you are stuck in your car, hopefully you're stuck along the coastline or in the Capitola Village where there's stuff to look at and it's actually quaint and beautiful. The cons are it is a very desirable place to be for both people who live here as well as tourists. So there is a lot of traffic. There's a lot of congestion. In the summertime, if you're taking that hill into Capitola Village and you are looking for parking, there is limited parking. Don't plan on being able to park by the beach. You might take 30 minutes just to get to the Shadowbrook area or 41st Avenue down to the Capitola Village. So if you have the opportunity to park somewhere where you don't need to be right on the beach and then walk down, I would suggest that you do that. So obviously the con of traffic in Capitola is there's a lot of it because it's a beautiful place and people want to come and visit and see it and spend time there. Another pro about traffic is actually that there are traffic monitoring cameras. So if you want to know what's going on in a certain area before you get in your car or decide to walk or bike, you can actually log into Cruz 511 and check out the traffic monitoring camera so that you know exactly what you're dealing with so that you can decide how you want to commute. Another con about traffic, and I don't know if this is going to go on forever, but for the last several years, Capitola has been a part of the constant congestion due to additional road work and construction. So on Highway 1 going northbound and southbound right in that Capitola area where you'd be getting off, they have been doing highway improvements, widening the highway, and that area has just been a nightmare for traffic. So that's another con. Hopefully they'll finish that up soon and it'll actually allow traffic to flow more easily. And now for a quick commercial break. If you are enjoying this content and the content that we produce on a regular basis, I would so greatly appreciate it if you would hit that like and subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, and every subscription helps. Thank you. And now back to the previously recorded show. All right, weather. Pros and cons of weather in Capitola. The climate in Santa Cruz, generally speaking, and specifically Capitola, is mild. We don't have massive heat waves. We don't have snow. We do get rain, but we, generally speaking, have a very mild and beautiful climate. There's an abundance of sunshine, though it does get foggy in Capitola. And there is low humidity and ocean breezes that cool off those hot summer days, which are really non-existent. The cons are, if you don't like the fog, then I don't think Capitola is the right place for you. There is definitely a fog bank. In fact, when I'm driving from the west side to Aptos, as soon as I hit Capitola, not always, but often in the summer, I will be in a t-shirt and shorts. And as soon as I hit the Capitola fog bank, I'm like, shoot, I should have brought a sweater, because you can never predict what the fog is going to do in the Capitola area. So it is best to dress in layers. Another con is, and we've talked about this before, but there are occasionally severe storms, and with climate change, there are erosion issues. And the last couple years with the severe winter storms that we've been facing, the Capitola Village has suffered a lot of damage. It has put some businesses out of business. It wiped away the Capitola Wharf, and that cute little wharf house restaurant at the end is gone. And they've rebuilt the wharf, which is now open again. But there were also several businesses in the Capitola Village that had to close due to storm damage. Many of them have opened after they fixed the damage, but they did suffer, right? If you have a business that relies on customers to come in and either dine with you or shop with you, and you can't be open because you're fixing storm damage, you're going to miss out on business. So they have suffered some severe storm damage the past couple of winters. And then another con with regards to the weather is that Capitola is vulnerable to climate change impacts. So the rising sea, erosion, we talked about severe storms, stuff like that will affect that area because it is on the ocean, it is on the bluffs, and they will be impacted by any sort of severe weather as the years progress and climate change. Let's dive into the geography, pros and cons of the geography of Capitola. The pro is obviously, my gosh, it is a beautiful place to live. It is a beautiful place to visit. I think I've told this story before, but Capitola is actually the place that I was in the Capitola Village, enjoying an ice cream after my grandparents took me shopping. I was wearing a cute little purple flowered culotte outfit, and I looked at my grandparents and I said, Santa Cruz is where I'm going to live when I grow up. Of course, it did happen, but Capitola was where I fell in love with this area. Depot Hill is an amazing place. It is a little enclave of homes and a couple boutique hotels, B&B hotels or B&Bs. Those properties tend to be more expensive. On the other side of the Capitola Village, there are a few different condo complexes where you can get a more affordable option if you're looking for housing in the area under $1 million. The geography of Capitola is just absolutely stunning. You have beach access, you have waves to surf, you have the cute little Capitola Village, the bluffs where you can watch the sunrise and sunsets. I really think that the geography is one of the best in the area. The cons with regards to the geography is it's really small. It's 1.6 miles and it is just very tiny. So there's, limitation on everything, limited housing inventory, limited shopping, dining, entertainment, limited transportation options, limited everything just because of the small geographical area that Capitola encompasses. But I personally kind of think that that's a pro because I think that small is cute. Moving on, let's talk about the pros and the cons of entertainment. The pro of entertainment is there's always a lot going on in Capitola. We have the Capitola Art and Wine Festival. We have the Wharf to Wharf race that starts in Santa Cruz and ends at the Capitola Wharf. We have twilight concerts at the Esplanade in the summertime. We have live music at the Wine Merchant in the Capitola Village. We have the Capitola Village, which is so cute. There's tons of restaurants. You can dine on the beach. There are little cute boutique shops, and it's just so colorful and beautiful. There's the Venetian Hotel, which is that gorgeous, colorful array of hotels right on the beach that is iconic for photographs. You'll see that all over the internet. You'll see people in front of it all year long taking pictures. That's just absolutely stunning. The con with regards to entertainment in the Capitola area is that there's not really a lot of venues for like live music. There's not a lot of diversity when it comes to dining. And again, because Capitola is small, there's just not a lot of areas or places that you can go if you are in search of entertainment. But the pro is that it is so centrally located that you can go to Santa Cruz, you can go to Monterey, you can go to Silicon Valley, you can get to San Francisco if you want a more robust option for entertainment and you have decided that Capitola is indeed the place that you want to live. Pros and cons of lifestyle while living in Capitola. The pro is obviously you are going to have a fabulous lifestyle. You are going to have all sorts of outdoor activities. You can walk, you can run, you can bike, you can surf. You can be in any mountainous area in Santa Cruz County within like 5 or 10 minutes if you want to go do a more arduous hike. If you leave the Capitola area, it's a really walkable community. People are friendly. I would say that there's a lot of art and artists that come to the area. The Capitola Art and Wine Festival is a really fun event to go to. The cons with regards to lifestyle are pretty much what we've covered already, but there is limited housing inventory and expensive housing. There's lots of tourism. There is traffic congestion, limited nightlife, and it's a really small area. So once you've explored the Capitola Village and the Capitola Beach, if you want more, you have to leave Capitola to go and get it. Now let's talk about the last subject. But before I do that, if you find this information valuable or any of the other information that we produce, please hit that like and subscribe button. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and every subscription helps. So please hit that like and subscribe button. Okay. Last topic is pros and cons of the unique features of living in Capitola. A pro of the unique features is it's quaint. It is really adorable. There are picturesque spots all throughout. We've talked about the Venetian Hotel. That's that colorful hotel right on the beach. There is the train trestle, which has like a walkway along the river that's really beautiful to walk along. There are historic buildings like the Shadow Brook, which is an absolutely fantastic restaurant, and its landscaping with the meandering walkway and the trolley that can get you down if you don't want to walk down are just so unique and quaint and beautiful and fun to go explore and enjoy. The Capitola Village is just like the cutest little shopping district. You have restaurants, you have cute little shops. It's just absolutely adorable. And then the Capitola Wharf, which used to have the Wharf restaurant, which is no longer there since the wharf got washed away, but they did rebuild and reopen the wharf. And the Capitola Wharf is just a really fun place to kind of like walk down, stroll down, check out the scene, check out the scenery, check out the ocean, watch the surfers, just kind of like get a different perspective because you're basically hovering above water. Oh, and a really cool trick, if you use one of those running apps like the Nike running app, if you run out onto the wharf, when you look at your trail, it looks like you're walking on water like Jesus. So try that. The cons about the unique features of living in Capitola: limited nightlife and entertainment options, seasonal tourism that impacts the community, the traffic, the congestion, parking challenges, and regulatory restrictions. This means that there are restrictions when it comes to construction of some historic properties or historic buildings. So something that might be quote unquote falling down or dilapidated, you can't just go in and request a permit. If it is a historic building, you would have to go through a process. You'd have to keep the facade of the building. So there might be some properties that are in the Capitola area that are a bit more run down than one would expect for an area with such a high cost of living. I think that about sums it up. So those were the pros and cons of living in Capitola. If you have found this video interesting, entertaining, valuable, educational, please hit that like and subscribe button and help me get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. Thank you for tuning in to the pros and cons of Capitola living. If you have any questions or if you're considering moving to the area, please reach out. We would love to be your realtor of choice. And if you are looking to buy or sell in an area outside of Santa Cruz, please reach out, fill out the form below, and we will connect you with another exceptional realtor in your area. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day.